when the one that looked like Boy George said, "Hey, we don't need to do this. This is making an example of our cause." Blah blah, and then immediately, like, you know what I mean?
I think
like
that particular person, the Grand's Biscuit,
is a Grand's Biscuit. Like, literally has the IQ of the camp.
Crazy. No matter if she is male,
it's sir,
whatever honestly, I don't even remember.
Hey, Twitter world.
Don't pet the llama.
A pangender octopus who roams the cosmos in search of love.
I'm never going to look at butt plugs the same.
Apparently, ducks are rapists.
I'm really uncomfortable with this conversation.
Till Death Podcast. Brought to you by Till Death Studios and Violent Vibe Tribe.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the podcast. I'm Ian.
I'm Jen.
And I think this is episode 74. Because the last one we did was episode 73. It was a little lost episode.
Well, usually 74, not for 73.
Yeah, shut up. But yeah, so thank you to everyone who is new to the channel. We appreciate it. We've got a lot of new interesting comments and new people to the channel, so we do appreciate it. And make sure that you like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm Ian Till Death on Twitter and Instagram and all that, and you're Jen Till Death on Instagram. You haven't gotten on Twitter yet?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
I just can't.
Engaging doesn't always work, but there are some very funny things on Twitter, which we'll get into a little bit later. There's an account that it makes me laugh so fucking hard. But yeah, and to everyone out there who noticed there's a difference in the audio, we got some new mics and all that, so I'm still messing with it a little bit to make sure that it sounds good, especially for the people that only listen. That's probably a good idea.
Or,
right?
as my boss would say, that it doesn't sound like caca.
Yes, that it doesn't sound like doo-doo. And just a little bit closer for you if you can. Just right up on it.
To be like up on the mic.
Mm-hmm. Treat it just like cucumber.
Dwight, you ignorant slut.
Okay, so make sure you go on solo.to/tilldeathpodcast for all of our links. We also have the audio only versions. We are up on YouTube, Rumble, and BitChute. I have the first couple of episodes up on Odyssey right now, still getting into that, but and then we're up on, like I said, audio only podcast, and we have Subscribestar and Buy Me a Coffee, which are like our little kind of Patreon alternatives. Just Patreon, it hasn't been.
Ooh, coffee sounds good.
I know. Patreon has not been the best for like censorship and stuff like that. A lot of people have been taken down, so I just don't even want to go down that road. Just start off fresh without having to, you know what I mean? I don't want to like later on down the road be like, oh, our Patreon gets shut down because we, say interesting shit. Yeah, and then go check out our merch, teespring.com/stores/tilldeathpodcast. And okay. Violent Vibe Tribe. Go check out Violent Vibe Tribe. We actually, I think Nick just said that he got hello? Oh, that was weird. I almost couldn't hear. Oh, my headphone was popping out, so it sounded like it.
I was like, who are you talking to? Who else is there? Hello?
Kylo? Nick said that he just got certified to blow shit up at his job.
Oh, right.
Which means that he can go blow shit up and the cops can't say anything to him because of the thing that he said. So he said he's going to take me out and we can bring my camera. We can go blow shit up and film it.
Nice.
Yep. So whenever I'm just letting you know now.
Just don't make it an episode of Jackass, please.
It's me and Nick.
I know.
So I'm just letting you know when I come to you and say, hey, me and Nick are going to go blow some shit up. We won't get arrested and we'll be.
And as long as you have all your limbs.
Somewhat safe. All right. So first thing, let's see. What do we have on this list right here? You want to talk about the anxiety stuff with mental, like all the mental health stuff and the COVID stuff?
Sure.
All right. So this is something you were talking about last night a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to kind of let you start it off, and then I'll, color commentary, not colored commentary. I mean, I know I'm a little brown, but.
No, I was just, since I work in HR, it's kind of come up a lot with COVID and people wanting, having some kind of like mental anxiety and issue. Well, obviously it's mental, but having anxiety issues, dealing with everything, and just the state of the world right now. Everyone's having some like mental breakdowns and such.
It's not just going to be the disease or the virus. It's going to have effects on different parts of like everyday life. It's not just the getting sick, Yeah,
well, it affects everybody differently too. And like, I kind of, you know me, I research everything. And I kind of think that's what I've been dealing with too, just being overworked and just so much stuff going on. And it's like adrenaline based at work, like go, go, go. And I get home and I'm just complete brain dead. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to just be a couch potato and not do anything. And that kind of sucks. I mean, and that's just a mild, outcome of everything that's going on right now. But there's a lot of people that are being greatly affected by this, whether they've, they're dealing with COVID themselves or family member or lost family members because of it, or something else drastically changed in their life because of it. Yeah. And I think it's good that we're starting to acknowledge the importance of not only physical health, but also mental health side of things. Yeah. And I'm actually trying to work on something for the employees. Kind of like we always do the Biggest Loser competition at work. Okay. I'm like, okay,
you're still allowed to do that?
Yeah. So we address the physical side of things and stress, healthy eating and things like that. But there's also the other piece of the puzzle is working on mental health. And I've been talking a lot, to my boss about things, and it just really got me started thinking about it and how can people work on that side of things? Yeah. Like we're all told, okay, well, de-stress, go exercise, go do yoga. Yeah. Breathing exercises. There's like the adult coloring books, you know.
But with COVID, you can't breathe. So, I mean.
But it's not even just that. It's just like everything that stemmed from that. Like people losing their jobs, or whether that was voluntary or involuntary. And then the repercussions of that. And then just kind of how that ricochets through every aspect of your life. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm trying to come up with things to be able to offer the employees, because you can kind of see it on people's faces.
And then when you do that for the people, and not just you being in HR, anything like that, but when you try and do that, like just, with any situation, you try and do something for a friend, you try and help out a friend, then you kind of look inside after, saying, because it's easier said than done. It's easier to tell someone else, hey, try this, but then implementing it in your own life, then it's tricky. It's hard to, it's hard to, but so whenever you start telling someone and you look inside yourself, you're like, oh, okay, maybe I need to do that too. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, it's like this big vicious circle. So it's, you're basically just take it from the job. You're stressed out because you're working hard right now. Then now that translates to you coming home and you're just kind of vegging out because you just need to chill and not think about anything else. But, for me personally, when I'm stressed, like maybe a lot of people, I'm like, ooh, food. And that makes me happy. Yeah. Some people, alcohol, or, whatever your thing is, your coping mechanism that helps you feel better. So it's like, it kind of spirals from there, and then it can branch out to having other issues, or, like I just noticed that for me, I feel completely drained of energy. Yeah. So trying to figure out, well, how do I fix that?
Well, you've been looking into the things that can help supplement what you going on in your body to kind of, change that. And I know we've been doing the electrolyte stuff, which is, you said it's helped a good amount.
Yeah. And so all of that, it's crazy though, because it's like you go down the rabbit hole. Because it's like I started looking up one
and not
thing.
fucking Gatorade, okay? Not
Yeah.
electrolytes like Gatorade and Powerade, like actual healthy stuff.
Yeah, so it's weird because, you know, you've been doing the electrolytes ever since kind of your
Anxiety attack
your
when I act like a bitch in
mental,
Vegas.
I don't want to call it your mental breakdown, but your anxiety
Oh,
attack
well, it was, you know.
last August.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah, I know what electrolytes are, and they're good
Yeah.
for people that are, you know, working out in the heat and sweating a lot. That's
Yeah.
how I always viewed it.
Hydration
I
and
viewed
stuff.
the average human being doing a normal workout when they come home doesn't need electrolytes.
Yeah.
So that's why I always brushed it off. And you're like, oh yeah, it helps me. And I'm just like, okay, cool, whatever helps you.
Yeah, but then also, you know, we're getting older. I know it's not something that we like to admit, but we're getting older, so our bodies are affected in different ways, and they don't recover as well. So you need that little extra help, you know.
Well, so what led me down that path to even looking at them, because I told you I was having issues, like it's the same kind of thing. So for me, like kind of like getting back to the mental health thing, for me, I know I'm more stable, I guess I'd call it, when I'm working out. Like I have a pattern.
Yeah.
I am a
Kinda like
creature
a
of
routine-
habit.
like a
So
routine.
come home from work, do
Yeah.
my workout, eat healthy. Boom. That's what
Yeah.
helps me be level.
When you deviate from that,
Then there's problems.
and we share a half a bag of Jelly Bellies.
I know. I ate the rest this morning.
I saw the empty bag.
Yeah. So for me,
Shits were good.
I start going down that path of what I think is healthy,
Mm-hmm.
but then boom, something happens. So all of a sudden now I'm having issues with not being able to sleep, having severe cramps in my legs and my feet. Can't even get through a workout because my feet were like cramped up where I thought they'd look like this.
Yeah, and you kept saying, "Oh, my feet are cramping up,"
Yeah,
and we
'cause
were
I was-
sitting down watching TV.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
it's crazy. And so
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to basics. Maybe I just need more water. So
Yeah.
I started making sure I was drinking more
Just kinda-
water, all, you know, the normal things that you think of. And I was talking to my coworker and she said, no, I should have electrolytes.
Yeah.
You need to check that, because she's like, that's why I eat a banana before I go to bed.
Yeah,
And I'm like, potassium. Okay. Yeah, I've heard that. I remember my mom telling me that as a kid.
yeah.
So I went down that rabbit hole and researched and came across how it was important for people in my situation that paleo, I don't really eat carbs.
Yeah.
So that's like the number one issue. And so I'm like, oh, but there's other benefits with the sodium intake and all that stuff that helps with the mental side of things.
That is one thing that I will like give you props for, is that there's a lot of people that like hit a problem and they just don't try and figure it out. And not saying that I'm, you know, not one of those people every once in a while, but you like see a problem and you're like, I need to figure this out and I need to like work around it and figure out my ways. And so then you go down your rabbit holes and then you come to me once a week with some new funny paleo healthy thing. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Cool. Rub coffee bean, you know, coffee grounds on your face in the shower. And I it looks like poop in a
That
thing.
isn't new. Okay. Your sister does that as well. No, but I mean,
Don't involve my sister in this.
it gets to a point where I was just getting annoyed because I was like, God damn it, I'm just trying to exercise and eat healthy, and now I'm having issues with even doing that. So
Yeah.
what the hell? Like
Yeah.
2 months in, and this is a pattern that's been happening. And
Like,
it's like,
you get 2 months down and you're just like,
and then
fuck
that's
it,
why I
I'm
ended
over
up
it.
giving
Yeah.
up because, you know, I feel like I hit that roadblock, and like this time I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So there's got to be something's going on here. Obviously, that happens every single time I try being very consistent with the working out and everything.
Since
And I
I've
don't
been-
just go on a walk and call it my workout, like
Yeah.
that 30 minutes of the jumping around and all that.
You hear that?
Yeah, you hear me. So yeah, so it was like other things.
Bing! Every like couple of minutes when the workout's done.
The workout I follow is like a 30-minute. Like I just cast it up on the TV, and it's this app, and the follow along video. It like gives you a visual cue that you can follow along with the instructor, or it's the audio cue, which you hear is
Yep.
the really loud, annoying bing sound, which I wish
Yeah.
they would change what the sound is, because
Yeah.
it's super annoying. But
And then, you know, you can hear it over the metal blasting which is amazing.
Well, yeah, because I put it up loud enough because their music they have in the background, which I do give them props because every different workout they change up the music slightly. So it'd be like, okay, one theme was a little more
smooth jazz.
Yeah. And it wasn't as smooth like
98.1.
No, it was still upbeat, but it was like, okay, here's your normal club music. Then here is a little bit more funk. Like one of them was, I was like, all right, cool, get into this.
Come in,
One had a little bit more of like a classic rock undertones to it. So they were trying to appeal to all audiences, which is kind of cool. But still, I'm like, nah. So just listen to my playlist and go.
It is the one thing that does annoy me about that is that whenever I go to do my workout the next time, since the TV is so loud, and when my workout starts, it's the Body Beast thing, and like the beginning animation is like metal being like bing bing, and so it's so fucking loud, and every time I forget that you just worked out last, so like, and I forget, oh shit, it's loud. Yeah, and so it's like I have it on like 11 or 12. You have it on like 35. So it's like, I'm like, oh fuck, like, because I always, I know a lot of people like work out with like metal music or hip hop or whatever as music that's loud that gets you going. Me, I like being pissed off when I work out because it makes me angry. It makes me want to like pump more, but so
pump it up.
I just listen to like either like podcasts or something that is talking about the insanity of the world that we live in. Because
you don't get distracted?
No, well, yeah, of course. There's many a times where I'm lifting and I laugh or something and like whatever. But like it's something that gets me riled up and gets me pissed off because then everyone's different. Everyone has their own little thing. But that to me, like I was listening. Rogan was talking about it. How when he works out, when he's going through, like when he's pumping, and he's trying to hit that next level or whatever, he thinks about if his family was being kidnapped and about to be like assaulted, and he thinks that like I need to do this in order to stop that, like, which is an interesting take on it. But I mean, I get it. Like you push through to that, like to that next level. You're like, fuck it. I'm going to like, what if this was my family? You know what I mean? So, and it's again, everyone's different. Everyone has their own little thing. I also think that you listen to metal very loudly, to annoy the fucking neighbors. So
both.
Yeah, we have a fuck the neighbors playlist. But because she's a cunt. But yeah, and I do think that I've said to you a bunch. I have to burp, like it's like right there, and I can't burp this. I keep talking funky, but no, I do. Like I've said to you a couple of times, I do commend you on being able to like push through and stuff like that. Like before the wedding, you were doing that too, and then this past time, I like to think that it's because I'm working out with you, and it's my fault. It's all me. That's just because I have an ego.
So yeah, like I was saying, like.
Because this is the most I've worked out consistently in ever.
Well, that's it. I'm trying to be consistent because it helps me de-stress. Because if I have that, and I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, but also if you're predictable, then that can also be bad, getting stuck in a rut. And I'm like, not necessarily. I know a lot of people that don't do well unless they are sticking with a routine. And that's why I think with COVID and everything else that's happening right now, like it throws people off because it's messing up people's normal routines.
And stress levels.
And I know normal routines too can be considered like safe and you just feel better. But I don't know, call it what you want. If you want to say, oh, well, you're being too safe or whatever. Okay. I like that.
But this is my life. Just like that's your life and you want to make those decisions. But like, I mean, I think you're, less stressed after a really nice shower today.
True, showers are awesome.
Yes, conjoined showers. We have a co-ed shower on Saturdays.
Locker room. Co-ed locker room.
You didn't snap me with a towel. What the fuck? But I don't know if you guys noticed, but her face got a little red. But anyways, so I'm going to get killed later. It's just the new way. Every episode of the podcast, there's a new way that I'm going to get murdered later. And I somehow find my way out of it. But anyways, so yeah, you were talking about money, and we're about talking about the money and job situation and all that, and
yeah, kind of again with the whole like mental side of things, and then people with anxiety, but leading into kind of what's happening now.
There have been a lot of studies done since the COVID stuff that has talked about because like we were saying at the start of this little discussion, is that like it's not just the virus, it's other things and elements that are affected by the the lockdowns and the whole pandemic stuff and whatever, and a lot the suicide rate has gone up drastically because losing your job, losing a sense of normalcy, like how many people were just barely hanging on with the life that was laid out before March 2020. You know what I mean?
Or like us, having to be away from people. That's kind of our normal thing anyway. So
yeah, that didn't really shock our system too much. But I mean, it's one of those things too where it's like, yeah, we're homebodies to the for the most part, but at the same time we like being able to have the option, and it's it's cool to be able to. But then there's positives that come out of everything. You got to be able to look at everything, positively. You obviously see the negatives because that's just human nature. You're going to see that more, but you got to look at the positives, like the podcasting and stuff like that. We've gotten a lot more traction and stuff like that because people are at home and they want more content to kind of watch. And again, it's menial there, but it affected our lives in a certain way.
Well, what's crazy, so like with that HR group that I recently joined on Facebook, one of the most interesting pieces I think, so I'm so used to my industry being in government, how we operate.
Yeah.
These are people of all industries across the United States.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that somebody asked was, is your work going back to, your employees coming back to the actual job site? Are you remaining remote only, working from home, or doing like a hybrid? Well, my work wanted everyone back ASAP.
Yeah.
So that wasn't working to have people at home.
Yeah.
We are there to serve the public.
And also your opinion on all that too. You don't like working from home.
I like having...
You just don't like me, so...
I don't think my job is conducive. I don't even think that's... My brain is a little right now. What I do, I don't think I can perform that well from the house. I think I need to be on site because of everything I need to have access to. Because we're not fully electronic for everything. We still do have paper files in drawers.
And you also have a husband that likes to bug you. Like, here, look at this Facebook video that I.
So it was just weird because the biggest response is that people are like, "Oh, we're remaining remote forever," and I was like, that is so trippy to me. The fact that this changed it so much, because I mean, I guess there are industries where you can work from home. There's no issue with that. Yeah.
Which is another positive coming out of this, that a lot of the Zoom and Skype and like all that, a lot of people have gotten more technologically sound and rounded out. So, it is a positive.
Yeah. It's, to me, I was kind of like dumbfounded that was the response, because I'm like, oh my gosh. But we work in government and we're there to serve the people. So we have to be there to serve the people. Yeah. So we can't be at home. Yeah. Whereas if you are working call centers and other places like that, where you don't have to physically be at that location, then
or
great.
HR for those businesses.
But that's what's crazy to me. I'm like, HR is all about the people aspect of it. I can't imagine.
Human resources.
Yeah. I can't imagine telling somebody, oh, well, you can only contact me via Zoom, the telephone, email. Yeah. Like, I know Zoom, you're still face to face without physically being there, but I don't like that. I like having that open door where I tell my employees, you can come by and see me anytime. You have a problem?
Yeah.
Come on by, close that door. Let's have that conversation. I guess you can do that through Zoom too, but it just,
but there's
just
also something to
weird
be
to
said.
me.
There's also something to be said also is if someone is coming to your door and right there, then it's one of those things where you might be in the middle of doing something or whatever, but at the same time they're already there. So it's kind of like, not an like obligation, but you like kind of have to, like, they're there, cool, let's talk open door policy, stuff like that. But if you are what's it called, if someone is calling you or Zoom call, there's a lot more of an ability for you to be like, I'll get back to them.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it has this
I
like,
would be like, nah, I don't have time for you.
exactly, and then that can breed resentment. That can breed so it causes issues. There's good and bad in every situation.
There is, and one of the really good aspects of being able to work physically next to each other is, you know, one of the things that I look for as HR is if I see an employee that just something doesn't seem right. You know, they seem really down.
Yeah.
Something's happened. You know, I see them on a daily basis.
Yeah. So you know
I can be like, something's going on.
Yeah,
so it's
something's
kind
weird.
of almost like doing a wellness check on people when they come to work.
Yeah.
Whereas you lose that when you're now away from people.
Exactly. And then once you're away from people so long, you almost like lose the that sense, that like sixth sense of being able to kind of tell if someone's going, you know what I mean? Because if you're not around people all the time, then you kind of lose that like, hey, are they all right? And you're just like, whatever, they're fine, you know, what, no big deal. But like,
and personally, I like having the separation between home and work. I like that.
Exactly.
Because I know when I come home, I don't my HR hat is off, you know?
Well, kind of,
yeah. But, you know, it's just interesting. And I think that's going to be something that, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with other. Yeah, like if, you know, I don't plan on staying in government for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So
we're going to do this. This is,
you know, if I switch to a different industry, I'd be really curious to see, like, so I work from home. I guess that's okay.
But I mean, if your job wasn't government, I mean, even if you were, you know, in HR, but just for a different company, stuff like that, if your job wasn't government and it wasn't so, you know, you don't do your job, then, you know, cities kind of, you know, it kind of goes into a kind of free fall with certain things, because you do payroll, you do a lot of stuff too. So like, you know, in a different industry, or in a different type of HR job, not, you know, with government, then it could be a lot easier to do stuff from home, you know, you just got to deal with me. But yeah, so that kind of brings us to one thing, talking about that. We did want to, since we are getting some more traction, some more viewers and stuff like that, we did kind of want to poll our audience a little bit. Like, how has that affected, how has all this COVID stuff affected you negatively or positively? Like, has it changed the way you view your job or just the general public and stuff like that? Send us a comment. Send us.
Yeah, I'm just really curious. Like with people that feel like they need to quit.
Yeah.
And why? Was it just specifically related to disagreeing with company policies and how they were handling COVID time?
Masking, vaccines,
or was it realizing that maybe the job you were in was, you know, way too much stress and not worth it? You know, I'm just curious how come we do have so many people that are out of work, because I get a weekly update from the state saying what the unemployment rate is. Yeah. And it was holding at around the same percentage for a while, and I don't remember it, unfortunately. Yeah. But it's all of a sudden dipped even lower now. Yeah. Or I'm sorry, dipped higher. Well, it's a higher percentage of people out of work. And I'm like, okay, well, we have so many people that are hiring right now. Yeah. So many people. But people aren't willing to take those jobs, and I don't know why.
Well, a lot of it could be because they're already not an industry or a type of job that someone would want to do, and then now they have mandated stuff and like all this stuff, so it's like, why am I going to do that?
But a lot of those mandates have gone away.
Yeah, but Because a mandate is basically something by government saying that you have to do it. But that doesn't mean that private industry or private businesses don't still uphold those idiotic fucking...
Oh, so we've done away with everything.
Exactly.
So I guess I don't know what private businesses want to do.
Some
but
private businesses, you still got to wear a mask if you work here. You got to go get poked. You know what I mean?
They don't.
And
we literally dropped everything.
Yeah.
So people walking in don't have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
No temperature checks.
And
nothing.
I mean, a lot of it too could have to do with distance and driving and commute and all that. Which now with gas prices and stuff like that, especially being in California, that
would be the
crazy.
Huge plus to not working at home.
Yeah.
And to working at home is saving on gas for sure, especially right now.
Pants, come on,
and not wearing pants. There you go.
Tubing it up.
And actually, two people that we just hired, I
really want to know what saying not wearing pants made you think of this.
I was just thinking of the commute stuff. So both these people live in Temecula.
Okay.
And their previous jobs, one of them was working on in Chula Vista.
Jesus.
Or not Chula Vista, Bonita.
Oh, yeah,
but I mean, same thing. Yeah. So she was driving all the way down there. And then the other girl, Escondido. So that wasn't as far.
Yeah.
But she said the traffic getting down there in the morning, horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
So both of them were like, it didn't matter if the job they're working for us now is, it's actually more money for them. But if it was less money, they would have still taken it.
Yeah.
Because the drive alone, the time on the road and and then the gas prices. So
and also going north of Temecula instead of going south.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
So I guess there you go. There's a benefit. So working, if you can at least get a job that's within close range.
Yeah.
Versus driving an hour. Like before, when there wasn't too much traffic or gas prices weren't as high, then it was fine. But you're going to have a lot more people now that are seeking out the working from home or seeking out to relocate to a job closer to where they live.
Yeah.
That's the biggest trend that we're going to see. And that probably is why people too are holding out on finding a job, because unless something is really close by, or they will only accept something that is working from home.
Yeah. Well, commute the gas, with gas prices being as high as they are, which they shouldn't because they weren't for 4 years, which was great.
Yeah.
And now, especially, since we're at war, almost. I mean, by the time this comes out, we could be. You never know.
Well, and that's the other thing I wanted us to talk about with kind of it all ties together with the anxiety, mental issue side of things over the last couple of years. And then now all this shit that's happening.
World War III, potentially.
Yeah. So.
Which sucks because it's like me, I don't like, and I say this as much as I can, like, I don't like speaking about things that I don't know about because I don't want to sound like an idiot. And I do that enough.
Smart, yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I don't want to speak. And when it comes to like foreign policy, foreign war stuff like that, like for the most part, I don't really speak on it. Like, and this whole Russia-Ukraine thing and our involvement in NATO and all this, like there's so many pieces to it. And there's so much propaganda on both sides. Like you're hearing that, that Putin is just crazy and sent his troops in without telling him that they were going to blow stuff up.
Like, it was just
you're
going to training.
Yeah, exactly. But then there's other people saying that the Ukrainians have like 1 out of 6 Ukrainians in the government are neo-Nazis. And it's just like, what the fuck? And then you see these stories and these videos that everyone props up and puts out, and then 2 days later, oh, that was fake. It's like, I don't even know what to think. All I know is that we are like, so Biden says that we're putting sanctions on Russia, right? So we're putting sanctions on them through NATO and through all this to where, and then everyone's like FIFA and EA Sports is now removing Russian like teams from their games and like all these. Personally, I think it's fucking virtue signaling, like, oh, like whatever. But then, so we're doing sanctions on them, but yet we buy millions of barrels of oil from them. So like when we could just open back up. They literally
have the United States by the balls right now,
which we weren't. Like before Biden was in office, like we were energy independent. Keystone Pipeline was open. We were doing our own shit. And now we're relying on Russia for our oil. So it's like, how are we going to, like, the biggest sanction we can put on them is just not buying oil from them anymore. Like that, me personally. And then, so not only would that put a sanction on them and influence them to, hey, maybe we're not making that money. So we don't have, like, Russia doesn't have enough money to put into their military to take this action. So why don't, and then also, we're not spending money outward. We're buying American. You know what I mean? We're we're doing all that stuff. So I mean, say what you want
Buy
to.
local.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, say what you want to about Trump, but I mean, that was a smart fucking move. And we were paying what, $250?
Yeah.
And now we're paying $450, like in a year. Like,
Well,
think about that too. We have 3 more years of this fucking.
And that's what's so
idiot.
scary because, everything that I'm hearing, obviously people are kind of in this panic right now and there's lots of different stuff being said. People are like, oh my gosh, it's going to go over $6 and
and it's just, but we got to make sure that, we take care of the Uranian people.
Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people.
Everyone in Uranus watching this right now.
Yeah.
Butthole.
Well, so with everything going on right now, I kind of know your stance already, but so on a scale of 1 to 10, how panicked are you? And like 10 being like the most panicked, like of needing to be prepared for what could happen here with the economy and the direction we're going in.
And with Biden being in office, I'm at like a 6. Like, I'm over half worried, but at the same time, not as worried as I probably will be within the next 3 years of his administration.
Do you see
No, go ahead.
issues like if you're looking back at 2008 economy?
Yeah.
Kind of more affected like housing, but looking back at then to now and any type of market crash that we have, do you see that happening?
It kind of sucks because I wasn't anywhere financially sound or had any idea about that. Since being married to you and you teaching me a lot more about it.
Well, I was in college, so it really didn't affect me.
Yeah, but I was, getting drunk and high and being in metal bands and touring the country. So it's a little bit different for me, and I didn't pay attention to that stuff. So like I said, I don't like speaking on things that I don't know about. So my opinion on that is like, I can't put a relation or tie in something to that because I don't know. I just a dumb fucking kid, you know, like, so I didn't see things the way I see things now, or I didn't notice things like that. And politics weren't a big deal to me back then. I mean, my dad and then, my mom and Ron, they've all, been more conservative, especially my dad. But, and so, when I grew up, I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh in the car and, all this stuff. And so there were a lot of more conservative talking points. I heard it. But then after a while, it's kind of like one of those things like the preacher's daughter is going to, stray because they hear so much and, whatever. And so, so like for a while there, it's like, fuck politics. I don't want to even think about it.
Yeah.
But then as, I'm getting older, I see how much it does play into, and 2016 election and all this stuff ever since then.
You'll be listening to the politics, and I'll be listening to the Weather Channel.
Yeah. No, but it just I can't have an educated opinion about that, saying like markets or this and that. But I can say that I do believe that with having someone that is as weak as Biden is and has displayed him as a leader for America and basically made America look weak to everyone else, I do think that provides an advantage for other countries that do have negative intentions. So, and then, not only does he not fucking remember where he is or what he's doing, or if he has shit in his pants at any time, like that's already enough for people to see that he's weak. But then, or that America's weak because he's the leader, or, Kamala, whatever, she'll just laugh at it. But, then
Cackle.
then the Afghanistan stuff happens, and that immediately. So not only is our policy weak, is our president weak? Are we trying to put trans people in the military and in our leadership and all that instead of actually putting people that are good at their job? We don't put the fucking penguin in there for
God.
admiral of fucking this or that. Fucking hate me if you want. I don't fucking care. But they look like a penguin. They look like Danny DeVito's the fucking penguin. Yes, yeah. I'm not kidding you at all. And I'll put a picture up right here and you'll see what I mean. But then our military looks weak.
Yeah.
Which is what is supposed to protect us, right? I don't believe that America should be the fucking Team America world police. You know what I mean? I don't believe that we should be out there going into other countries doing this. The Ukrainian and Russian thing, I honestly don't even believe that we should be there. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that we should have been in Afghanistan. I believe that we should have retaliated against being attacked for 9/11. I do believe that wholeheartedly. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that we should have been in Iraq. I don't believe that we should have been in Afghanistan. I don't believe a lot of things. Now, this is just from my limited knowledge that I know of these situations. I'm sure Nick or James or any military person could have a little bit different of an opinion on it. But from what I think is, I don't think that the military industrial complex that we have needs to be as funded. I think that we need to have a strong military and we need to protect ourselves and make sure that we're taken care of, but we need to take care of ourselves first. Like the biggest thing that made sense to me about when Trump was in office is that it was an America first type policies where we need to take care of ourselves first because, because you can take care of someone. You can if you don't take care of yourself enough, then you can't give a bum $1. You know what I mean? Like if you don't pay for your own bills, you don't pay for your own food and your own shit, then you're not going to be able to give someone money that's home. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be very hard if you don't take care of yourself first and you can't help other people. So I don't think that we are in a position right now to where we can take care of ourselves without having to rely on other people. Like we rely on China for trade. We rely on Russia for oil. We rely on so many other people. And so we can't take care of ourselves. So I think we need to focus on ourselves. Does it suck that they're going through that? Yes, it does. But we're going through our own shit too. And if we don't take care of ourselves, we're going to start going through that same revolution type stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think there's ever going to be a point in time where we're going to be completely self-sufficient,
Yeah, well, exactly. So you need to keep lines open to where you can work with people, but it's not like I'm helping you out. You know what I mean? Like, so Chris Martis, right, who... actually, there's a bunch of cool stuff coming out with him. He's got a new band or project called Rust, and actually Till Death Studios is doing a lyric video for him right now. So it should be out by the time that that this podcast comes out. But he's been my friend, my buddy for forever, man, for 10 years. And he was the singer for Hero and Me, my old band and project that I had, and he went through a gnarly breakup, and it's weird. It's almost like I did that for someone else who was living in this room with the same name that I had. But no, I've always been, you help your friends. You help the people that need help, that are in your life, that you respect and that you care about, right? So he was going through a crazy breakup, like insane. And it just came up on my Facebook feed today. I reposted it saying like, hey dude, like even if we're, half country away, then I'm still here for you. I still love you, Rhodes. I'm glad we're not in this situation, because he was basically kicked out of his apartment because he was living with this chick, and she fucked around on him and cheated on him, and then he was just not in the right headspace. I mean, I don't know, if doing blow and getting drunk with Sketchy Jesus over here was the best choice, but at least it was a friend. It was someone, and so I let him live in my apartment. And for months, and I just took care of my friend because I was able to. Now, if I didn't have a place or I didn't have the ability to help him out, I would still try as a friend and be like, talk to my other friends and be like, hey, do you got a place for this dude? Because he's going through some shit. Like, he needs some help. You know what I mean? But I had a spot, just like when we had Ian Pearson here. And we had a place. He was going through this trifling ass bitch. And so we helped him out. You know, it kind of fucked us in the end with that. But, you know, at the same time, you have to, if you have the ability to help, I think you should. Does that mean that you have to? No. But I think that we should help if we can, but if we can't take care of ourselves, like if we didn't have this place and have an extra room, then we wouldn't have been able to do that, you know? So I don't know. It's such a nuanced discussion where when it comes to what I think America should do, I think I have the knowledge to speak about it, but I don't know what the Russian-Ukrainian interaction. So I don't want to, I don't like to speak about that. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What is your...
I literally, you know me, I am not a big fan of politics, so I completely stay out of that because that triggers my anxiety and stress levels. So I just choose not to be a part of it.
Oh, I know.
Honestly.
I when I start talking about it, I see your eyes just like... You're like, husband, I listen to you.
Yeah, that was my least favorite topic in school. So I was like,
I'm kind of retarded.
I'll take math instead.
Oh. All right. Before we get into the next subject, we're going to do a little ad read. See you in a second, guys. Being comfortable with violence is a must nowadays. Whether it's in a parking lot, a store, at school, church, Kenosha, car lot.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. If you're faced with
4,
violence...
5, 6.
Wow, Offspring.
Yeah.
That's the loudest concert I've ever been to, actually.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of...
Exhale the Ombre favorite album. Okay, go ahead.
Pretty fly for a half white guy. If you're faced with violence, be calm, be confident, and be comfortable. From the mat to the field, in comfort, there is confidence. Have both with Violent Vibe Tribe. We got to figure out this little ad read a little bit. We got to work it around. But basically, you got to have that violent vibe about you. You got to, it doesn't mean be violent towards people. You just know that you always got to
be prepared.
Be prepared. Keep on your toes.
Be like Rittenhouse.
Keep your eyes peeled. I never got that. Terms
peeled.
This is like onions.
Open.
Oh yeah, but is that peeled? It's not like you're not peeled back, I guess. I don't know. Basically, just always know your surroundings. Always know what's going on, because especially nowadays with all the stuff going on, there's shit can pop off, man, and shit can get crazy, and you could find yourself at a Travis Scott concert. Or hanging out with Alec Baldwin. But anyways, go check out violentvibetribe.com and use the promo code TD20 for 20% off your entire order. And Till Death Studios and Violent Vibe Tribe are going to be doing a sweet collab on a little sticker pack. So stay tuned on all that, and I'll definitely be finger blasting the...
I'm going with guns.
Damn it.
You're a little slow over there.
Dwight, you ignorant slut.
Yeah, but make sure you check out all that, and we're gonna be doing that sticker pack, and so check out all the social medias for all that info. And speaking of social medias, at violent_vibe_tribe. To go like and share and subscribe and follow them and diddle them, all the things. But yeah, go check them out. Again, Violent Vibe Tribe. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled.
Try to relax your anus.
Be a banana.
I'm a banana. Do you remember that video?
No.
Oh, I have so many good things to share. Yeah, so go check it out. And and Nick Wright also is the owner of the company, and he's been on our podcast a couple times, so go check out one of the episodes. Later. All right, guys, welcome back. So the next thing we have on the list over here is So since we are the Till Death podcast and it's, a married couple, we figured after episode 74, we should probably, have a segment where we talk about marriage issues or married couples topics. I guess this kombucha
you are getting fucked up over there. Marriage things. Okay, Biden.
To be married to, be involved in this, but,
it's
just
hard
couples.
because you're married to an amazing superstar over here. So
Exactly. Superstar.
Come on, man. So role reversals, I guess.
Come on, man. So we have a different marriage than everyone else, I would say. Not everyone, but most people. Most people, even though it's bra burning women's rights stuff now and whatever, but most people, it's the man is a breadwinner.
That's actually what I do at work.
Really? You came home stinking a little.
Anyway, getting to the topic.
Yeah. So for the most part, it's the man's a breadwinner, or the
it's a man's world.
It's I think that pair is affecting you too. You're singing now. So no, it's usually a man makes more money or is the breadwinner. Even if the wife does have, or the woman in the relation, maybe not wife, girlfriend, has for
Did you say white girlfriend?
Wife, girlfriend.
So, white girlfriend.
I'm not racist, okay. But no, usually it's more the man or the male figure, if you're lesbian or gay, is the breadwinner, brings home the bacon, and then the wife or the female or girlfriend or whatever usually is more the homebody or something like that. So our situation is a lot different. You have big girl job, working government, which we've been talking about today, and I don't. So I work on the podcast, I do all that stuff. I'm starting to do other things with the Till Death Studios and doing all that, but you are the one that makes the cheddar,
makes the bucks.
Yes, makes the bucks. So
the bucks.
I think and something that brought this all up is you were talking about, you have there are a couple of people that that you have seen how it affects that their spouse just spends their money and doesn't respect that fact that there's someone that's working hard and that someone that isn't. And I'm not saying that I don't work hard, that I don't do my own things, I don't clean up the house, don't, do my own shit, which, is here nor there, or I could do better, or, or I'm better than most people. I don't know. Like I think I'm okay, but that's also me. And, but at the same time, like, I know that I at least have the respect for you to like, hey, can I get this? Or, hey, this, I don't just, see it in the account and it's gone.
But here you go, honey. Here's a 20 for you.
I gotta shake my ass for that?
No, it's like, I have a handful of coworkers where it's the men that are at the job and their wives are at home taking care of kids and they spend all the money.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, at what point does and then when
spending on like groceries, I'm talking about like, a new clothes,
rings and this, new clothes and shoes and all this, and it's like at what point, and then when the guy wants to spend money on a new car or video games or this or go golfing or fishing or whatever they're into, or go have drinks with their friends or whatever, I've seen plenty of times where it seems like they get chastised for that, or they get grief for it when they're the ones working for it and they're the one, you know what I mean? So that'd be like if if we had friends and and you're like, I want to go out with my girlfriends, where I was like, why? Yeah, and I gave you shit for that, or like, well, like no big deal, like, okay, cool,
peace.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's, I think it comes down to a respect thing also. Like, do I have moments where I'm like, fuck, that'd be really cool if I made the money and did all that stuff. But at the same time, like, there's roles. Everyone needs to like know their place to a point, like I know that since I'm not bringing in money like you are, you know, and I'm not doing that, then there's other things that I need to do to make up for it. And like really the only money that I spend, excuse me, to my little vape things, you know, which it needs to decrease.
I think you get more grief from my parents.
Oh yeah, of course.
They don't say it.
Oh no, I know I do. It's the looks. I completely.
It's from my mom.
Oh yeah, of course I do. But again, that could be a myriad of problems. That could be her being raised in that same mindset of man makes the money, woman stays home, or it could be that because I mean she didn't have a job when she was raising you guys, right?
She did have a job.
Okay,
but then when she had kids, then she had to quit.
Well, what was it?
She was she worked at a bank.
Okay. I
don't remember what her job was there, but
okay. So I mean I get it also, but they also had a house at 18, right? So it's not like, you know, they were building up to, you know, to buy something or do it. So they already kind of had it. So I mean, again, everyone's life is different. Everyone's, you know, choices are different. I get that, but it does kind of suck, you know. But at the same time, I'm not. Like I'm trying to build something too.
Yeah, but
build it from the start
you're hesitant to get a job because of everything too with COVID.
Oh
and
yeah,
what's
what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
I don't typically like dumb people, and all the jobs that I've had are mostly customer service or food service or bar service or something like that, where it's dealing with a lot of fucking dumbasses and then having to be nice to them. And I've just done it so long that I'm just spent. I'm spent on it. And then now with everyone, with everything being political, makes it, and I have very strong feelings and emotions about that, then it makes it that much more difficult to bring that guard down. And also with the COVID stuff and, you know, all that stuff, the opinions and the strong feelings and emotions about that, it's driving people crazy. And with the potential to have to be vaccinated and masks this and that, it just like, it makes me just like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to be involved in it at all.
Yeah, I just think though that it just pushes us back a little bit.
Yeah,
and being able to have the full like savings that we need to have in order to get a house and all of that stuff. So that's the only downside to it.
Yeah, and I know, and don't think that it doesn't, you know, weigh on me too. And I don't think about it a lot, but it, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, it's better than, you know, me getting arrested for strangling a bitch.
Sure.
See?
I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of retarded. But
I also think that a lot of it could be a lot worse if I had the same mindset that a lot of other spouses do with the breadwinner's money and the way it is. I think it's a lack of respect, not knowing that person's place. Like, I know my place in our relationship and in our marriage, and I know that, you know, before I do something, I send you a message. I ask you, I talk to you about it. Not just like, hey, you said there was one person who the city accidentally paid too much. And then they're like, oh, shit. Didn't you say you're like, oh yeah, we paid you too much. We gotta, can we get that back, Bo? He's like, sorry, it's already spent. And like, it wasn't by him.
Like in 24 hours.
Yeah. So it's like, at that point, it's like, okay, then, like, that's excessive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there should at least, because that means that there wasn't even any money left over to where that could be paid back and it'd be fine. Yeah. Like, I'm sure if that happened with you, like, even if I did go out and act like that and, you know, spend $500 or whatever, which I don't, it's very seldom.
In case you die.
Well, yeah, exactly. But we also are set up to a point where I haven't been doing that. I haven't just been spending all your money and doing all that. And you would be able to be like, oh, that's cool. Like, it sucks, but here we go. Whatever. Even if that one time I did go buy a new guitar or buy, you know, whatever I need for the pot or whatever.
Yeah.
You would still be like, it sucks, fuck, but we can still take care of it and pay it back.
Yeah.
So I just think that there's a lack of respect in a lot of relationships and a lot of marriages where people don't understand that, like, when making choices with things, because there's obviously a choice. Like, you know, if a wife had the ability to make more money than the husband, and reverse the roles. I got to burp so bad.
I know,
you can tell I'm like messing up on the talking. But yeah, if the situation that usually was husband making the money, wife staying at home, if that had switched and ended up being like you and me, then I think that I think that those choices being made, it would be a lot different. I think if a wife that would spend all the husband's money were to switch, and then the husband just started spending all the wife's money, I think it would be, I'm kicking you out, you're on your ass, like quick, not like, okay, like, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I think a lot of people should be more respectful of their spouses or marry someone that they respect.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. I don't know what your take is on any of that, but no, nothing.
No, I agree with you.
You agree with me? Do you?
It's all in respect.
Is that you?
Yeah.
That's because we'll have a conversation later and she just doesn't want to get yelled at. Damn. Okay, so that right there, I think we have a good little segment on that. And then we're going to go to another ad read and we'll come back and we'll talk about some interesting trans issues. Because those are fun. All right, see you guys in a second. Hey guys, we here at Still Death Podcast realize that with everything opening up, you might need some new clothes to show off in public. It's scary, I know. But you can rest assured that we've got your back. We have high quality merch and fair prices so you can support your new favorite podcast without breaking the bank. We have a bunch of items to choose from, like this shirt, which is my personal favorite. Oh, it's upside down. See, we got this. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Or, also, this one for the ladies. For my lady, and punch myself in the balls. There we go, it's our old Paint Splat shirt. We also have tanks, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, yoga pants, beach towels, and even fanny packs. Like this one right here. So just head over to teespring.com/stores and use the promo code NOMOREMASK and you'll get 15% off your entire order. That's No More Mask for 15% off. So what are you waiting for? Just do it. Just do it. Go get one. They're awesome. Do it. Also, head over to solo.to/tilldeathpodcast for all things Till Death and how to stay up to date with all of our content. Babe, thought laundry was your job.
Get all this merch out of my house.
See what I mean? All right, so we are back. Sorry, it took a couple seconds to get this all set up, but yeah. So we have. So there's a. I forgot. He's running for governor, maybe, or he already got it. It's something Youngkin. Let me see, Youngkin governor. Okay, Glenn Youngkin. So he was. Is he? Oh yeah, he's the governor of Virginia, and I believe the reason why he became governor or he decided to run was because his wife was trying to transition their son into being a daughter, and he lost custody because he didn't agree with it and he didn't want that to happen. Okay. So he just decided to become. I think that's why. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, roast me in the comments, whatever. But I
didn't look it up.
I looked up Youngkin, but this is what I've heard. And so he was speaking at let me see real quick.
Didn't do your research.
I'm sorry. Wow, I'm completely wrong. Okay, sorry guys. His name is Jeff Younger. Wow. So it says, student protests over conservative politician who promotes criminalizing sex reassignment surgeries for children escalated to police intervention during a Wednesday night event at the University of North Texas. Videos circulating online show dozens of students banging on desks, shouting and cursing at Jeff Younger, who will be in a May runoff in the Republican primary for Texas House District 63. It's Denton, Texas. He was involved in a years-long custody battle for his child, whose mother says is a transgender girl. Eventually, Younger and Kelly Neidert, chairman emeritus of UNT's branch of the Young Conservatives of Texas, left the hall under police escort as a few hundred protesters were outside the building, some chanting protect trans kids, which I think is a ridiculous fucking statement. If they don't have consent to like have sex, then they don't have consent to change their sex, right? Change their gender. I think
kids don't know.
I think it's fucking disgusting. If you've seen our Matt Walsh, Dr. Phil video, you completely understand where we're coming from. A video on social media, which I think we're about to watch here, appears to show protesters standing in front of an. We're actually not going to watch the video.
She would have pink hair.
Yeah, exactly. So basically. Yeah, so even though I said it was Youngkin and it was from Virginia and I was wrong on that, I completely admit I was wrong on that. I wasn't wrong. So this Jeff Younger guy, he, as I did just read, he was, the reason why he got into all this is because of the situation with his ex-wife and, you know, losing child custody because of trans issues, right? So he went to go speak at the University of North Texas at Denton, about trans issues, and this is what ensued. Thank you. I think you'll find this funny.
Ugh. I already don't even like the girl in the front.
All right, how about a name? Come on, give us your name. Come on, have some courage.
Of course, they always look like.
Fuck you. How about a name? Are you a woman or a man? I don't know what you are. Good for you.
What were you gonna say? Of course, they look what?
Well, that looks like. Oh my God! What is
that looks like the singer from My Chemical Romance?
That, or I was to say from the 80s.
And they're not okay.
I forget the name. Boy George.
Oh, Boy George. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's the basic style they're going for. But you were saying something about the last one. Was that about?
Oh, just the short hair.
Yeah, the short hair and doing the communist fist in front of the.
Okay.
But did you notice how when they asked this person, I don't want to miss.
Oh, for the name.
Yeah. Let me see real quick. But they wouldn't give it. It's like, do you know in communist countries they demand your name, right? And they just take whatever they want, right? And then what they ask is, come on, be brave.
All right, how about a name? Come on, give us your name. Come on, have some courage.
Nope.
How about a name for you? Fuck you. How about a name? Are you a woman or a man? I don't know what you are. Good for you. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay.
Is that fucking Corey Feldman?
Oh, put your shirt down. That's an ugly girl. That's a woman, obviously, with the... Oh, but you don't like that anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, I want to shoot all these people. Why are they always ugly? Are they just mad? Is that why they want to change? We are queers? Is that what they're saying?
I think so.
So queer is actually a name to describe someone that is just something, not a male or a female.
So you wanna go through definitions real quick?
Well, because I was always confused because I thought when you call someone queer, that means weird.
It's just, well, yeah, but it's just gay. It's just the whole thing. That's what I always thought
it was an insult, so you couldn't use that word.
Let me see. LGBTQ definitions. Go to thegaycenter.org.
You can have that on your phone.
Let's see. Lesbian, a woman who's enduring.
I know these. I know the basic. Get to the queer.
Terms have changed, okay? Because so that could be anything.
I'm going by my original definition.
Queer, an adjective used by some people whose sexual orientation is not exclusively heterosexual. Typically, for those who identify as queer, the terms lesbian, gay, and bisexual are perceived to be too limiting and fraught with cultural connotations they don't feel apply to them.
So they'll just hook up with anything.
Yeah. Some people may use queer or genderqueer to describe their gender identity and or gender expression. Once considered a pejorative term, queer has been reclaimed by some LGBTQ people to describe themselves. However, it is not a universally accepted term, even within the LGBTQ community. So the infighting.
Okay, well, let's continue to watch Flabby McFlab scream.
Some people say that Q is not for queer, that it's for questioning. Sometimes when the Q is seen at the end of the LGBT, it can also mean questioning. This term describes someone who is questioning their sexual orientation or gender identity.
I can get to questioning if, like, you're a teenager and you're like, I kind of like girls too. Yeah. So maybe...
At college age when you're,
I never went through that phase, but...
You never experimented?
No, I definitely knew I liked guys.
Oh, okay.
And I don't take that, like...
Dwight, you ignorant slut!
There was no cue there. But anyway, let's watch this thing.
Yeah, so... Oh, and, okay, a lot
of people...
Why
are they never attractive?
I'm gonna bleep that one because that's what puts them in that category. No one wants them, so they're like, oh, might as well try the other side or whatever side I want.
Why can't they at least be an attractive one? Good Lord, like, stop eating the Twinkies.
There are very few. Blair White is male to woman transition, but she's not crazy, and she's somewhat attractive. Like, she's not...
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think I take people, like, serious if they're like, literally, I don't feel like I was supposed to be born this. I think I was supposed to be this. They don't make a huge deal out of it because they're just trying to be comfortable in their own skin. You need to
rearrange your life for this 1%
they do what
society.
They need to do.
Yeah.
They're not there trying to make a big show out of it. Yeah. They're not trying to be like, all eyes on me. They're just trying to be happy and do what they need to do to feel normal, however you want to say it.
I completely understand.
And so that's cool. You do you. I have nothing against that. What I have a problem with is people like this that make a show out of it and literally are embarrassing everyone else that does really, truly, have a complicated process and they're going through things. But these people are just ridiculous.
I really hope I can find this.
It's like literally like a child just screaming. That's what that person is.
Let me see.
Well, why they all gotta dress like they're from the 90s grunge era?
Because it's, the clothing is... Yeah, why you gotta ruin Nirvana, bitch?
Why you gotta ruin flannels?
Yeah, right? I'm trying to look for
Not everyone can wear a crop top. Just because they sell it in the store doesn't mean you have to buy it.
Let me see. What is it? Current Revolt, I think, right? Yeah, Current Revolt. Because they're the ones who put this. There we go. Yeah, there were a couple amazing fucking memes that came out of this.
We're going to watch the rest of the video?
Yes, we are. But I'm trying to find something that has to do with this interesting one right here.
You're going to have to put on the song like you do for everybody else during Mexican Train Game.
Anyways, okay. So basically what was being shown is, or the meme I was trying to find is they were equating that human, to make it as loose as I can, as the Grand's Biscuits container when you open it. Because of the fucking...
Oh, gross.
Okay, so here we go.
No!
I know.
He's like a boy, like a teenage boy transitioning.
Right?
5 minutes.
If he does not speak, they're going to keep making an example of our cause. We have to let him speak. We have to humor.
Oh, it is a man.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was a girl.
Jesus Christ.
I'm more than arms.
Don't you dare. Don't you record my friends.
She did grab my camera.
Pete.
This is what
fucking spitting on him too.
I got it, man. Sorry, man.
Oh, sir. Oh, she's trying to be a man.
Yeah.
He's laughing. That must be pissing them off.
Oh yeah. Okay. So one thing that I did see after watching all that was that someone was like, dude, do you realize that? And I don't mean dude isn't like only dudes. It's just a general thing.
Call
I have to say
everybody
that
a
now.
dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's a
dude.
dude,
Everyone's
sorry.
dudes. Everyone's guys. Like whatever.
Your grandma's a dude.
Yeah, she is. She's hilarious, by the way. But no, it's like, dude, like, you do realize that it was called a mental disorder recently, right? 5 years.
Yeah,
maybe.
but the way they're acting, they're exemplifying that.
Thank you. If you're trying to say that it's not a mental disorder, it is a choice. It is something that everyone can go through or whatever. It's not just someone who's crazy. Then why do you act like that?
They literally are acting like chimpanzees that have gone crazy. And actually, you know what's funny? I know what he, whatever that thing, the Twinkie
Them,
was
they,
supposed to
whatever.
be.
Yeah.
I know what it reminds me of. The fat kid from the Addams Family
Yep.
with a mullet.
Yep. Wait, are you talking about the Munsters or the Addams Family?
The Addams Family.
The actual
he
Addams
has a
Family.
shaved head, I think.
Yeah.
But
from the animated one?
no,
Or the actual, the original
one.
Yeah, okay.
The shape
Yeah.
is of that kid.
Yeah.
But just add a mullet
Like a
onto
bowling
him.
pin.
Yeah. That's what I was like she reminds me of sir. I don't know. I'm like, can you pick a side and make it attractive?
It's one of those things where it's like, okay, do you want people to talk to you? Because if you don't want people to talk to you, if you continually tell them my pronouns, it confuses most people. When I say most, I mean 99.95% of people have this way of speaking. And then there's the people that don't even know English yet and they're still trying to fucking learn it. And then now you're changing it for them. So like, do you want people to address you? Do you want people to have conversations with you? Like, because if you don't, then do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because not only are you exemplifying the fact that you might be mentally crazy or have some deficiency, which understandably so, and then you also dress like a Grand's biscuit fucking container.
Damn,
and
now I
then,
want one of those.
I know that it actually kind of ruined Grand's biscuits for me forever. But at the same time, it's like you're exemplifying a mental disorder by screaming when you think that that's what it is that's going to get your point across, right?
I think too. So it's like twofold. It's like they were all college students, so you're still kind of you're a kid still in college.
Yeah.
So you think, how do I get attention drawn on me? You act out.
Yeah.
So be loud noises, obviously. So, they weren't intelligent enough to be able to sit down and have a conversation, to listen to one another, to have a reasonable debate. They were just like, you're immediately wrong. We're not listening to you. We're going to act. Damn. Now for me, this
I gotcha.
Now they're just like, they literally all seem like clowns.
Yeah. And
no one's going to take them seriously.
It sucks on a human level. I completely understand if that's what you're going through. That sucks, dude. And like,
yeah, but it's tough too. It's tough from our perspective too, because here's the thing: if you're not trying to, insult somebody on purpose, you're not trying to be mean, but yet I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, and then when you act like a fucking dick, or a pussy, whatever you want to put on that. When you act like that towards me, if you act like an asshole, because we all have them, no matter if you're man or woman. So if you act like an asshole, then I don't care. I don't care enough to make you part of my daily life. Like, so your issues, if you're going to be a fucking asshole when I ask you about them or bring it up or whatever, then you're not important enough for me to have anything to do with. So if what you're trying to do is alienate yourself from daily life or from social norms or whatever, if you're trying to alienate yourself, you're doing a fucking great job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what I kind of feel like is all the kids, the teenagers, the college students that are all trying to do this, I feel like it's the new goth.
Yeah, it's just attention.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there aren't valid reasoning and there aren't people that have valid issues with this. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that because of actions, it seems that it's an attention thing, that it's a trend, that it's something.
That's what they're making it.
Exactly.
I'd be pissed if I literally was going through that.
Yeah.
Or like same thing with people that are gay or anything like that, where like you're like, why are you turning this into something like I'd be upset if that was the culture I was in, and yet you see all these people like acting out or that really aren't dealing with those serious, issues and stuff. I'd be pissed because that's to me, they're kind of like making it a joke.
So if any of you guys out there want more information on trans people that kind of have their head on straight or don't just go crazy with their opinions and start yelling and screaming like a child, but have interesting points of view, go look up Blair White or Buck Angel. Either of those two individuals are
Buck Angel sounds like a porn name.
The biker looking awesome woman to man.
Woman to man. And then Blair is a man to woman.
Man to woman, yes.
Okay.
And go look them up, listen to them. They're very. To me, it's also if you have a sense of humor, if you have the ability to be human and realize that you're kind of in a crazy situation, but people asking questions or anything like that isn't offensive. It's just wanting to know and have the knowledge of it. But if you act like a fucking dick about it, then no one's gonna care, and they're gonna be like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever, do your thing, whatever, So with that conversation, it kind of brings me to on our. God damn, I have to burp so bad, but I can't burp. So we did a video on the Matt Walsh, Dr. Phil trans conversation and whatever. And on that video, we had someone comment, and I thought it was a very interesting comment. And since we're getting a lot more comments right now, I think at some point during every episode or every other episode, I'd like to kind of bring them up and see and put a little spotlight on some of the comments, and maybe those people that commented could have some more to say, and you never know, we might have them on. It just
really it was.
So and it has 5 likes, which is pretty cool. So a bunch of people have seen it and realized that, okay.
Well, it's cool that person put their truth out there,
Yeah, exactly. Live your truth. I got to make fun of things, at some point. So Sky, I'm not good at the pronunciation, so I'll just put it up here on the thing. So Sky said, so I made the sad mistake of transitioning from female to male in 2008, born in 1964. So that...
Mm-hmm.
He's 64 years old? No. 44 years old.
Yeah.
Jesus. I saw 64.
44?
Born in 1964, transitioned in 2008, right?
Oh, okay.
So that'd be 44.
I don't know. I have to get out my calculator for that, literally.
Please do. I want to make sure I get this right.
I said earlier that I preferred math over the other history or whatever class I said, politics stuff, but didn't say I was good at it.
I mean, there's more than just math and politics. 44. Okay, cool. So so I made the sad mistake of transitioning from female to male in 2008, born in 1964. I was very feminine as a woman. However, I never considered myself as male or as a man once I transitioned. My story is sad in that I was molested by 5 male family members from a year old until I was 16. That's And that's another issue too, because I'm guessing a lot of people that go through all that stuff have some sort of trauma, some sexual trauma or molestation or something like that, which sucks. I completely understand that point. I was called and considered beautiful as a female and had been objectified by men since a year old. I was constantly objectified by men through my high school and adult years. I was very feminine, but also a tomboy. I believe that I transitioned because I was sick of men objectifying me and being treated as a trophy. However, when I transitioned, I wasn't any less objectified by people in the LGBTQ plus community. Wouldn't that suck if you were part of the plus? You weren't like good enough to have your own. Anyways, I had other trans men hitting on me and trans women, and even bisexual men were interested in me, as well as lesbians. So I figured it all out and have been detransitioning for 2 years. Trans people are real trans people, not real women and real men. It is a mental illness called gender dysphoria, and one should go through intensive psychotherapy to figure out realistically why they're experiencing gender dysphoria. Transitioning goes against everything that people are biologically, and that shouldn't be taken lightly. It can cause medical issues, especially with men taking testosterone blockers and going on female hormones. I regret the decision I made, as I believe that it also goes against God, who is Jesus Christ, the Messiah. Peace be with you. So, very interesting. There is definitely there's definitely a lot to be said about that comment, and it horrifying. It's sad. If you're watching this right now, as we said in the comment back to you, that's gut wrenching. That is horrible that you went through that.
All of that as a young person to have to deal with all the trauma.
And I completely understand why mentally it fucked with you. I get that, and that is not right. And those people should be fucking buried under a prison. But I do think that even with all that you went through, it seems like you still have some sort of mental capacity to understand that just because you decided to transition doesn't mean that makes you the actual man coming from woman to man. Mm-hmm. So you understand that you are in a different category, and different doesn't mean bad. It just means different.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember at a time where having fucking sleeves of tattoos was different, and it was looked at as negative, and that was the point we were at, you know, in a country. So like, not saying that in any way that we are the same or you know, different, you know, traumas or things that you've been through or whatever, but at the same time, there's, you know, society decides what's different and not. And I think there's a lot to be said about the way different groups of people and different, you know, this and that, and, you know, designations of this and that can affect how society looks at things. So I think that acting like the Grands Biscuits is not conducive to having society understand your struggle or your strife or what you've gone through. I think it goes widely against when you act like that and start screaming when the one that looked like Boy George said, "Hey, we don't need to do this. This is making an example of our cause," blah, blah, and then immediately, like, you know what I mean?
I think that particular person, the Grands Biscuit,
is a Grands Biscuit. Like, literally has the IQ of the camp.
Crazy. Yeah. No matter if she is male,
it's sir,
whatever honestly, I don't even remember. I think Grands Biscuits was just whether she was a she, he, whatever they were trying to identify as.
They
will always be crazy.
Yeah. And
crazy.
Again, it sucks because being a human, on that human level, you can understand how going through certain things like that, like the person Sky, who we read that comment of, like, they have been through some shit and it sucks. But when you come to a situation and how do I put this? there's a way of speaking about things, a way of speaking to people. And if you say, fuck you to someone, they're like, you're a piece of shit for this, they're immediately going to be on the defensive. No matter if they agree with you, if they were on your side, before or anything like that, they are going to, they're going to be immediately defensive. It's just human nature. Yeah. But if you say, hey man, I don't really appreciate when you say that. Like, I've gone through all this and I don't
talk sensibly.
Exactly. And you have some sort of common sense and you have that. And so if you're not able to have that and you just scream in people's faces and you say you're transphobic and you're homophobic, and all this, then no one is going to take you serious. And no one's going to want to speak to you in any respectful way because you're not being respectful of everyone else.
Yeah.
Which is 99.9% of the people. So, like, why should the 99.9% of people cater to your irrationally made cause?
Yeah, good point there. I no matter who you are and what you're going through, what your situation is, what your handicap or limitation or anything is, I'm going to treat you the whole golden rule thing.
Yeah. And
prime example, which I'm just going to leave it here. And I believe I've told you before, when I was in 3rd grade, there was a girl in my class that had, I don't know, like being that age, I don't know what handicap she had. I just know that her legs didn't work well. And so she had to...
Maybe scoliosis, multiple sclerosis.
I don't know. As a 3rd grader, I just know that her legs didn't work well. And my mom always taught me to be friends. Like, if you see someone that's like being ignored by others or whatever, like, hey, try to go make a friend. Yeah. And so I remember I was like, hey, you want to like hang out at lunch? Like, we can go on the playground together or whatever. Yeah. So I figured, hey, I'll help her out. Like, she can't.
Hang on to me.
She can't swing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to push her.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember this. And I remember she was kind of being a jerk. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you're all by yourself. And I'm just trying to see if you want to hang out. But, like, okay. Fine, bitch. Like. So I was like, I'm going to give her a little, like, benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's just, having a bad day or whatever. Yeah. And then I remember she was just saying some shit, like just being a complete jackass to me. Yeah. As I'm like, got her on the swing and I like helped take off because she had a little cuff that kind of went. Yeah, it's a little. Yeah. So she put those down and I helped her on the swing and she was just saying shit to me and as I'm like pushing her or whatever, and so I was like, This is me. Like, I've always been this way, I guess, because I was like, really? Like, she was like nonstop being a jerk. So I was like, fuck you. So what I did is
I already love this.
I grabbed the chains on the swing and I said, all right, you ready to go high? We're going to go high. And I took it and I ran. And like, you know how you can just run really fast?
Yeah, and then run underneath?
And I like pushed it up. Yeah, ran underneath the swing and went, bye.
Damn. That's amazing. But you know why?
Because I literally walked off and I said, you know what? The noon duty, she can help.
Yeah. I tried to help. She was a bitch.
You're being a jackass to me. That was me as the 3rd grader, like, what did I do?
Now, okay. Now, if you take that and you look at it like, if you look at it in a broad sense, maybe that's kind of fucked up. But then at the same time, you're like...
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I was like, but to me, I'm just viewing you as a normal human being, and I'm going to treat everyone this way.
But at the same time, if they didn't have that issue, then would you just go up to that person and be like, hey, let me push you on the swings? No, because you're catering to the fact that they can't do that themselves, probably, right? Yeah. So you are already changing your behavior for that person because that, which I'm not saying is a bad thing or, whatever. I'm just saying you are already trying to be nice and, go the extra mile to help this person out who isn't being played with or, whatever, anything like that. That sounds gross.
That sounded weird, yeah. But I mean, like, just hanging out on the lawn and, like, watching all the kids. Like, we're on the jungle gym and everything.
And so you are coming from a place of, I want to help, I want to be nice, I want to be, involved this person in everything else that, within reason, obviously. But then they're being a fucking jackass. So, like, okay, fuck you then, bro. Like,
bye.
Yeah, exactly. Fly like an eagle, okay?
I just remember running and then underneath, and then she's like, "Where are you going?" And I just kept walking.
Yeah. It's like in the movies where that for like lights or a grenade goes off and they're just walking like.
And I just walked, didn't even look back, and I was just like, "She'll figure it out."
Well, I remember there was this one dude who was in a wheelchair when my dad had his salon over there on El Cajon Boulevard, and there was a Mexican restaurant called Cancun, and just amazing burritos.
Food.
Used to go there every fucking day. The guy Greg and his wife owned it, and they always like hooked us up and like whatever. And then after that, there was a sushi place that went in, and they were amazing and always hooked us up too and whatever. But anyways, side point. So while this Mexican restaurant was there was this guy, I forget his fucking name, but he was such a fucking cunt. He was, and I felt bad for him at first, exactly like you did. It was a dude in a wheelchair, and he was like fucking half-tard. Okay, like he was like his legs were full, but his brain was like kind of half there, and like. So again, try to be nice to him, talk to him like, "Hey bud, what's going on, man?" And like he would roll around all up and down fucking El Cajon Boulevard, go into fucking Cancun and try and get a burrito here and there and sit there and be a fucking dick to customers. And I was like, maybe he's just going through some shit, right? And it was when I was younger, so I would like busk.
Was it like a Lieutenant Dan thing, or he was just pissed at the situation?
No, he had legs. But he wasn't in the military, nothing like that. Like it wasn't anything like that, because I would have a little bit extra, respect for him on that, on that one, and I would understand it a little more. But he, so I would busk when I was younger. I'd just sit outside of my outside of my dad's salon and just play my guitar, have the little mini Marshall amp, and like play, and whatever, people would come by and throw a tip. Whatever in the jar and everything. So like I'd see him. Yeah, no, that's gross. Probably now on El Cajon Boulevard. But so I'd see him at the bus stop and rolling around and fucking yelling at people and just being a cunt. And so like I just remember so many people would try and be nice to him, and they would like try and help him on the bus or try and do little things. He'd be like, "Fuck you," and blah, blah, and I'd just be sitting there like, dude, he's got to have Tourette's or like something. And if he doesn't wear a thing that says "I have Tourette's," you know what I mean? Or like someone's going to fucking punch him in the mouth. Yeah. And then he's going to be laid down on the floor, can't get back up into his fucking wheelchair by himself. You know what I mean? It's like, I get it to a point, but like, we're all only human, man. You know what I mean? We all can only deal with so much where we're like, "All right, fuck you then, dude." Yeah. Like,
you're
walk away.
Roll away.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, man. So, anyways, we're going to leave on that note. I think there were, that's how we roll. There were a couple other things that I wanted to maybe talk about, but we've been going for a minute. So, and we have amazing burgers to get to. A place called Burger Lounge, which, if you haven't tried that place, go see if they have one in your area. And go check it out. It's
grass-fed beef.
Oh, it's like our way of like having fast food, but still it being healthy and not eating fucking Mickey D's or any of that fucking crap. So, but anyways, so if you hate us, let us know. If you like us, make sure you subscribe, share, like, follow, comment down below. Just like, and you never know, if you send a good enough comment, give us a little story, give us a little backstory on you and stuff like that, we'll talk to you about that. If you are the person that commented on our video and you'd like to have more of a discussion about that, that'd be awesome. We would love to have that conversation with you, because it can help bridge the gap between people that don't understand it, answer questions. Because I mean, yeah, like we're
just naturally curious.
Yeah, exactly. And are we jackasses sometimes? Yeah, of course. We try and have some sort of comedy. That's kind of the way we deal with shit. It just in some sort of comedic thing. But we don't fucking hate anyone. We don't hate anyone. We don't have actual malice in our hearts for anyone. If you are the person that is that commented that we spoke about, Sky, again, I'll put up the little thing here. But if you're that person and you want to reach out to us, please do. Either hit up the Instagram or the Twitter, or either Till Death Podcast. It's at Till Death Podcast, TILDEATHPDCST, or at Ian Till Death or at Jen Till Death. Hit one of us up, send us a message. We love to speak to you more. We're both idiots when it comes to this. If you really, we have our opinions, we have our, assumptions and all that, but at the same time, we don't know about it, and we got plenty of questions, but at the same time, we're also, the way we cope with situations we don't know about or things that we're going through or stress or anything, we cope with it with more comedic aspect and try and make jokes and poke fun and whatever. But like, that doesn't mean in any way that we hate people or that we aren't understanding people's issues or struggles or anything. And we do appreciate that you saw that through our video and realized that we are someone that you can confide in. And that's awesome. That makes us feel great. Like that you saw our video and you're like, hey, these people seem like cool enough people to where I can tell this story to them and they're not going to treat us a certain way. That's awesome. And we appreciate that. Get in touch with us. We'd love to have that discussion. And if you ever feel comfortable enough to come on the show, we'd be completely fine with that. So, that's where we're going to end it here. And, just comment down below, like, share, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. And, follow us on Instagram, Twitter. If you like the audio version, hit up that. Go subscribe, star, and buy me a coffee if you'd like to support us as podcasters. I think, merch. That's right. teespring.com/stores/tilldeathpodcast and go buy some merch. We should have some stuff coming out soon. I think we're going to have Chris Martis on from the band Rust, who's my old singer from my old band. And we're going to have him on Ian Interviews. Also going to have a couple other people on the Ian Interview stuff too. Have that coming up. Got to just get those recorded. And solo.to/tilldeathpodcast. And for all the links that we have and all that. And just to stay up with who we are and what we're doing. Anything else for you, baby?
Think I'm good.
Think you're good? Okay. Well,
try to relax your anus.
Just something that everyone should do
to de-stress.
Just to de-stress. You just gotta
work through the anxiety. The ass-iety. I love you.
Wrong. Love you. Later, guys.
Bye.
Hey, guys. Thanks for watching the Till Death Podcast, your #1 source for family-friendly, wholesome entertainment.
The next time you're taking a big shit, put our video on.
All we do is talk about relaxing your butthole.
Relax your anus.
Subscribe under my balls. Video by her face.
And by my feet.
Butthole.